medical field shows that a compound found in the Indian spice cardamom has the potential to treat breast cancer. Here to tell us more about what this new research means is Dr. Mona Hacker from Horizon Clinical Research. Dr. Hacker, good morning. Happy Easter. It is so nice to be talking about something good and healthy that's good for us instead of masks and vaccines and boosters and all that stuff. How you doing today?
I'm great. Happy Easter. It's a beautiful Easter morning. And yeah, I'm especially excited to talk about this because cardamom, as we know, is a spice that's been used in Indian cuisine and Indian culture for centuries. And I put it in my tea every morning, in my chai tea. So it's great to see that they're looking at these natural compounds and what their potential is as anti-cancer drugs. I mean, it's great.
So for those who aren't familiar with cardamom, tell us about it. I mean, you've got it in your tea. Is it just over-the-counter stuff?
Yeah, you can buy it. You can buy it ground up in the spice aisle, or how I buy it is in pods. It's little green pods, and there's little black seeds inside, and you kind of use your mortar and pestle and kind of grind it up. And I'll put that on my Instagram, how to use it, because if you use the pods, I think you release more of those essential oils, is what I've read in some other studies. So that's good to know.
Okay,
and it's from the same family as the ginger family, the plant that it comes from.
Oh, that's another very healthy plant. So tell us about this study and how did they come to this conclusion?
So, breast cancer is something that affects millions of women, and there are different types of breast cancer, as we know. And there's a particular type of breast cancer called triple negative breast cancer. What does that mean? Well, 10 to 15% of women, usually younger women, Black women, or women with the BRCA mutation, have this form of breast cancer that's actually more invasive and thus more deadly. And that form of breast cancer tests negative to a lot of our treatments that we have. A lot of our treatments target certain cells like progesterone receptors, estrogen receptors, different types of proteins. And those three main ones that we target are negative in these breast cancer cells. So they're always looking for new treatments for this type of breast cancer. And what they found is that looking at some other preliminary research, they started to look at cardamomin, which is the active component of cardamom. And they saw that that compound was able to kill certain lines of those breast cancer cells in the triple negative breast cancer. So it's very preliminary data. It's sort of basic science data in the lab, but it's really promising to see that this component of cardamom might have this anti-cancer effect and might be able to be used as a future treatment for women with this type of cancer that's harder to treat.
And would it, you were talking specifically about breast cancer in this study, but being the case, is there reason to believe that this also might be beneficial when it comes to fighting other types of cancer?
Yes, and I won't get into all those really, nitty-gritty kind of details, but yeah, it makes sense. And there is also some preliminary data on cardamom and prostate cancer and colorectal cancer as well that, they're looking at. So it makes sense because what it's inhibiting are certain proteins and certain, things that deal with cancers in general. So it would make sense that it may be useful in other types of cancers as well. So even, better news. We don't know exactly, which ones and exactly what's going to happen as far as the treatment. But if it were to be something that could inhibit these cell lines and inhibit these cancer cells, then, it could be a game changer.
Okay, so the takeaway from this is we all need to go to the store and get some cardamom, but we want to get the right kind. And you mentioned your Instagram. You're going to put this on because you mentioned pods and grains and things like that.
Yeah.
So we want to get the right kind.
I'll put all that on my Instagram. But, in general, I think there's a lot of, we've been talking about things like turmeric and ginger and cinnamon and all these different spices. And I think it's just we're finding that these spices that we've been using for hundreds and hundreds of years in different cultures in different ways have a lot of anti-inflammatory, antioxidant oxidative, qualities that are good for us. So incorporating some of those things into our diet may end up being helpful. Not all of us have, this type of breast cancer, but we're seeing more and more of these effects of some of these spices, and they're really simple things to do. So although I don't have any data to back this up, it makes sense to kind of look into maybe adding, some of these things in our diet, and I'll put some of that on my Instagram. But this is great news for breast cancer, and we all, know someone that's been affected by breast cancer, and so it's great to see new treatments coming out and the research that's being done.
It sure is. Okay, check her out at Dr. Mona Hacker on Instagram. All the information you need right there. Dr. Hacker, thanks as always. Have a great rest of your Easter Sunday.
Thank you so much. You too.